Good afternoon, everyone. Synergy, and I picked up what I am passionate about, is the synergy, the harmony that we talk about within oneself and then beyond. So let me ask you this question. How many of you would want to make this world a better place by show of hands? And how many of you would want to do that easily and effortlessly by show of hands? Wonderful. I'm Debolina Mishra. I have been in the corporate role in the banking industry for the last 25 years. I'm also a happiness and mindfulness mindset mentor. That has just been few years now, but that is what I am passionate about. And I'm on a mission to impact lives and transform changes. So, why would you think that a banker would pursue something like happiness? For that, I have to share my story with you. So, I was born in a middle-class educated family in Kolkata. Because of my father's transferable job, I spent a lot of time in places like Shillong, Imphal, even Port Blair. And that is where my connect to open spaces and nature is. But as I moved from one school to another, I also realized that I was not very comfortable making new friends. I was happy in my own space. I was a happy, spontaneous child without much plan for the next day. And that has been mostly how it was till the time I started my college and I became ferociously independent in my life. It was very important to me that I should be able to take care of myself and what is important. But as you mature, you finish your education and you get married, you have your child, and you're busy with your work, and we call work balance in life. But what happens is that you start a robotic life. And that life is something which at times when you pause and think is not that you recognize yourself with. And that is what exactly was happening with me. I had started living lives of what was expected of me and not what I was. And often it could be that I was wearing different masks, trying to make that picture to someone that, okay, this is me as you want it. It is only when I faced challenges and adversities in my life, I realized that, being an average, happy-go-lucky, jack of all trades, master of none, that's the kind of tag I left with my life, was not that will lead me into the future. The constraints and adversities taught me this, that my best would come out in my worst situation, that I'm a fighter. But when the actual time of the greatest adversity in my life happened, is where after 5 years of fight with cancer, I lost my husband and my soulmate for 30 years. And that was devastating for me. It completely spun me out of my life. I didn't know what was happening to me. That darkness of unhappiness and loneliness was killing me. I felt that maybe if I changed my place, I left my city and my home for 15 years, I left a comfortable, successful work role that I was doing, and I shifted my city to Mumbai. I thought a new place, maybe I'll be able to bring in a new life for myself. But that didn't happen. Things became worse. As worse that I was not in sync and synergy with anything in my life. My work, my health, my family, I was not being able to take care of anything. I was helpless. I was in many ways completely decapacitated. In fact, I still remember one of that fateful night during COVID, and that heaviness in my heart. I went out to that window and looked out in the night sky. I remember that night I was not willing to live another day. Knowing that my child, my daughter, 18-year-old, she was there. My aging mother was in the next bedroom, but I didn't have a reason to live another day. And I remember that shout out into the night saying, for the first time ever in my life, I was asking for help. I said, I cannot deal with this anymore. Please help me. And voice in my head, it was like my own voice telling me that it's okay. It's okay. Go to sleep. Just go to sleep. And I went to bed and I slept like a baby after endless sleepless night. Next day was normal. It was a normal day. I woke up like I would. I started my work. And within few days and months, I instantly realized there were certain messages, videos, links that would come on my social media, which would have been there earlier, but I have never looked at it. But when I, for this time, started reading it and listening to those videos, there was a message for me. It was some way as if universe was trying to tell me something. And that took me to my journey, my transformation journey, into finding how and why is that we have happiness within, but we keep on searching elsewhere. And that is where my journey into happiness and mindfulness began. Now, why am I sharing you this story? Because till the time, I did not realize and bring in the harmony and synergy within, I was completely a failure in all that I was doing. And that is what we will discuss today. So the transformation starts with I. We have this concept called I, me, myself, right? We mostly stay in that domain. My emotions, my values, my strengths, my weaknesses. We are looking inward. When we look at somebody else, the they, them, we start comparing ourselves with them, right? We will say, am I good enough? Am I strong enough? He looks smarter than me. He's better looking than me. But it is only when we meet at common grounds is where we call the strength of us. And that is where we are synergy. We bring together a team because there we are bringing in skills, individual skill sets and power where it is converted to a team which brings in success. So synergy is better than my way or your way. It is always our way. Now let's start with synergy of the heart and mind. That is the starting point. Where do we miss it? As I see it, and I can tell you from probably even my own experiences and from a lot of cases that I have dealt with, it is a lack of self-confidence. We fear that what will happen if I try? We don't know about the results, the outcome, and also the conflict of thoughts of being judged, right? It happens because in many ways, we bring in our lives a lot of labels on ourselves. Self-inflicted thoughts, our own beliefs. It could have happened from our school, college, expectation of parents and teachers, even our own self-imposing doubts. What is it that I can do to bring that synergy within? Can I request you to do one activity with me, a very small gesture? If you can put your right hand on your heart and take a deep breath in and breathe out. If you can repeat it again, breathe in and breathe out. Could you sense in your hand that when you were breathing in, your chest was expanding, your heart was expanding? What was happening? You were opening yourselves and you were creating space within you for that air to come in. And we're doing it absolutely subconsciously. That is openness. But I'm taking this as an example. Do we have, or do we actually accept what comes our way the way it is, both what is working for us and as well what is not. Trust me, nothing is permanent. With time, both will disappear. There'll be something else that will be there for the next months or years to come. And that's how you deal with it. And of course, for me, the biggest tool that I got was gratitude. For what I have today, for the life that I have, for this morning that I woke up, for this place that I'm here today, having this talk with you. My energy, my life, my work, my passion, my mission. We often miss out on what we really have and bother and think and conflict about what we don't. Now, synergy of environment. That happens once that we have been able to be synergized with myself, that harmony within myself. We can start outside. How do you check whether you are in sync with yourself? One way of doing it is that pause, close your eyes, and think. Am I in the state of joy at this moment? And when you're talking about the state of joy, it is the emotion that you're feeling. Is it syncing with you, your thoughts? Is your body feeling in sync at that same point of time? If yes, great job done. If not, don't worry. Just take a break there, leave that position, leave that thought, go out, do something else, and try this out again sometime later. Trust me, this activity works. It will tell you and let you know how your syncing is happening. Now, in the environment as we move in, what happens, the biggest challenge is adverse to change. The point of status quo, the point of being in the comfort zone. We'll say that everything is all right. Why bother? But then imagine what you're missing out on because the thought that you are pulling yourself back. And also the fact of fear of being judged. Does it really matter to you? Does it really matter what you would want to explore and try? It's your success, your failure. Let it be. Why do you fear the sense of being judged? It's your experience, right? So it'll at least tell you what went right, what went wrong. If you ask me what is the solution to that, I would say expand your horizon. And for that, you need to do in terms of being grounded and being mindful about it. What I mean by grounding is very simple. It's basically to make sense of your stance where you are. It could be as simple as walking bare feet on the ground and sensing that energy of Mother Earth. It could be, and it works wonderfully for me every day in the morning, first thing that I wake up, and I don't wake up in a rush, I take my time to wake up. I wake up like a baby. And I would go out of the, outdoor to the balcony and look up into the sun and soak that light. That is also grounding. You're getting connected with nature. And you're trying to take that energy from within and sense it. Mindful, often people confuse it with meditation. Mindful is something where you are in sync in the state that you are and your surrounding without being judgmental. It could be in very simple things. It could be like you're having a chat with your friend, your loved one, maybe even your parents. While you're doing that call, maybe once a week to your parent, are you completely mindful at that point of time on the conversation that you're having? Are you fully there? While you're having the meal, which has been so well prepared and tasty, were you more on your mind on the television set watching an OTT and not savoring that meal that you were? So what you are passionate, what is important for you, try to be mindful of that. And this will open up the confidence in you to try new experiences. And that will give you a different avenue to life. And I don't mean big stuff of experience. I mean small things. Maybe change your haircut. You never got the courage to do it. Maybe see how does it work. Maybe just go for a drive without a destination. Dance in the rain. Start writing a journal. Anything that your heart desires. Now, once you're ready in terms of yourself and your environment, you are ready now to go into the ground of the corporate world, your work profile, And for that, you are now ready. Because all the skills that you have been inculcating in your social skills will help you here. The challenges that I see in my corporate experience for people that every new people joining in, I see as they come in and as they're growing, it's increasingly becoming very competitive. They're joining very competitive. I think it is starting from the education that they are in. It doesn't need to be as such. And also for that, in spite of being very clear and very smart, they cannot express them very clearly. So they're not being able to contribute on the table and to put that as that, okay, this is what I am saying. And of course, it is tough. It is a dynamic world. It keeps changing. So what works here? Let's see. One very important component here, I would say, is the emotional intelligence. You're dealing with human. Your boss is a human. Your team is a human. Your, different department people that you have to synergize with are humans. You need to understand the behavior, the power of that observation in terms of why a person is behaving in a certain way. And that, if you do, it will bring you to the sense of creating that nurturing and networking relationship building. I'll give you a small case. For example, if there's a project, if there's a timeline, what happens, when somebody is at fault? Would you go and judge him? Would you go and accuse him that for you the team is failing? Or would you want to go and check with him, okay, tell me what is the problem? Is there any way I can help you? I call this the power steps. If this is what you can nurture and discipline from now on a daily basis, trust me, you would be super, super ready for your future. It needs discipline. Your self-acceptance that you are whole and complete. Let no one tell you otherwise. You are powerful. Right? And that is where, I would want to mention this, that because you are whole and complete and you are wonderful, that is why we become powerful together. And that is how we contribute. If I would have met my 18-year-old myself out there, I would have said, trust me, don't worry, just love and live life. Things will all be fine in the future. Yeah? So don't worry, live your way. I would want you to just do this one bit for me. If you can just look to your fellow student on your right, look into the eyes, smile, shake hands, give a high five, and say thank you for sharing this space and time with me today. Thank you so much. God bless.